the a-hole for kicking out my pregnant girlfriend after she stole from me. This comes from throwaway 5758484. They say, long story short, my girlfriend and I have been living together for around 10 months. When she first moved in, she insisted on paying rent, and I was a little reluctant to charge if it didn't work out, but she forced it and paid a month. I found out she's struggling for money, unable to pay for things, is in a lot of debt, and lives month to month. She agreed with me that she'd start when she clears the debt. Fast forward to Christmas, I find out she's been stealing my clothes to give to her family as gifts. Another post on here. She lied for 2 weeks, blaming me until I showed her footage of her taking the things from the camera in the living room to watch the dog when I'm out. And I later discovered through letters and texts I've seen that appear on her phone that she's been doing nothing to pay off any of it, so I confront her. So basically, OP's girlfriend has been stealing, not paying any rent, and lying.
Well, what's so crazy is that when she was like initially paying rent, and I imagine if she had just not paid him a rent initially, because I guess she was, you know, like her pride, she wanted to like contribute to it. If she had not paid the rent, maybe she wouldn't have had to steal his clothes. This is crazy.
What are you doing? Why are you stealing clothes?
Producer Sophia, what's going on here?
Also, how are you stealing his clothes? Oh, I guess she's giving it to her male family members as presents.
Or she's selling it on eBay.
No, she's giving it to other people as presents. Clothes to give to her family as gifts.
Go to good freaking Will.
But he has a better selection.
He's got like some Burberry watches and some
No. I'm not
Prada.
stealing, babe. I'm thrifting.
Yeah, from your
I'm
closet.
thrifting.
And we stand a thrifting queen.
We stand
so.
a thrifting queen.
She's like, I know you wanted to go minimalist. This is kind of the Marie.
You're welcome for clearing out your closet.
Marie Kondo?
Excuse
Is
me.
that it?
Yeah. I'm
sparking joy.
Anyway, yeah. So I confront her. She tells me and shows me messages that her mother and sisters constantly guilt trip her into giving them money and have for years. The blind leading the blind, the poor giving to the poor.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Yeah. OP's girlfriend is a regular Robin Hood.
Except you're robbing from the rich, like Robin Hood.
No, I was gonna say robbing from the poor.
Yeah, but OP's rich.
That's what I'm saying. I got the initial part wrong.
Anyway, they'll message her on payday asking for it, and she'll feel bad saying no, despite none of them ever paying it back. Her mom alone owes her 6,000 quid. She has taken a ton of loans out for her family, and they leave her with the debt and they don't pay it back. Luckily, her credit is now at the point where nobody will loan to her, but she still tries and does it for them. I also found out, I went through her finances. Yes, I shouldn't have, but something wasn't adding up and I was being lied to. That in the space of 20 minutes, she spent 300 quid on gambling sites. All during this time, she isn't paying a penny towards rent, bills, anything. She'll occasionally buy food shopping or trips out to Starbucks. I tell her enough is enough and she needs to start paying her way. If she can give handouts to her family and gamble, she can pay for where she lives, and she's taken me for a ride when she should have been saving and clearing her debts.
I mean, although OP was originally like, I don't want you to pay rent.
Like, it feels like the relationship is kind of deteriorating, and now OP's like, you are no longer my girlfriend. You're a roommate that's freeloading.
I'm your landlord.
I'm your landlord,
From
and you need to
Parental.
pay. Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's a difference between like, I don't want you to pay rent, and the girlfriend's like, no, I'm going to pay rent. Like, all right. And then she just starts stealing from him. I feel like there's
The stealing.
The stealing.
Yeah. Low key, it's like, just repay me back for all the stuff you stole, almost, right? Yeah.
I make roughly 5 times what she does. Really, Robin Hood stealing from the rich over here. OP's rich. She does, but I've been fair and the bills are split proportional to income. She'll earn $1,400 per month and pays 600 quid, which includes rent and her share of bills. Damn, OP's making 5 times that. So OP's making $7,000 a month. 7 quid. 7,000.
So it's probably like eight or
9,000.
9,000. Yeah.
I take on the rest, which is substantially more, but I believe it's not fair to take more. On the 1st of this month, she tells me she can't pay rent. She says she's paid too much on our trips to Starbucks.
At least she's maybe honest.
You know, those lattes, they stack up.
Dang inflation.
Food shopping, and I'll get it when I get it, which means nothing, really. I'll do it when I do it literally means nothing. You'll just say, if I do it, I've done it.
She's kindergarten teaching him. She's like, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Get upset, yeah. But I hope he's getting nothing. It's like, be happy with nothing.
And now he's getting upset.
So I get it, but she doesn't understand why I need it this month when she's she's lived for free for the past 9 months anyway. I asked her to explain where her money was and has exactly gone, but she tells me I'm controlling and it's none of my business. In fairness, she will pay when we go food shopping, but rarely in comparison to me. I've kicked her out as of yesterday and told her she needs to find somewhere to live. Oh no.
Read it, Sam. Read it. Read it.
She is, however, pregnant, bearing the lead, OP. And she's using that as a card, as a way to guilt trip me and make out that I've thrown her out and my child onto the streets.
I mean,
yeah.
Yes.
You didn't say that she was pregnant.
Dude.
He's like, she won't work, and she keeps telling me she's got my baby.
Yeah. She's 9 months pregnant.
She allegedly has this child growing inside of her.
So she
I don't know. I'll
says.
believe it when I see the kid in my arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, wow. In my opinion, she's taking me for a ride and prioritizing her family that is using her over her own family she started. What's the solution here to getting her to see she's not treating me fairly? TLDR, girlfriend hasn't paid rent for 9 months whilst she was supposed to be clearing debts. Instead, she was giving money to her family gambling, and I've thrown her out because she's refusing to pay again. She is pregnant. Okay, so we have some very important information that OP's girlfriend is pregnant. What do you think about OP throwing out his pregnant girlfriend because of everything that's happened?
That is too much. Also,
But she's stealing.
okay, yes, she's stealing, but they have the whole dynamic of what happens when this child comes onto this earth and what does their relationship look like? And how will are they co-parenting because they're breaking up? Like, I feel like there's a mountain of things that need to be communicated that aren't. So we need to like sit down and talk about like what that all is going to look like. Maybe there is a scenario where he's like, hey, I can't have you living here, but like we need to talk about what's going to happen to the baby.
I mean, if someone is gambling away their money, not paying any rent, and stealing my stuff, but they're pregnant with my kid,
Yeah, you definitely don't want to enable them.
frick, that's hard.
What if it's this? Here we go. Maternity leave stay. Meaning I will let you stay at my place from, now until a few months after the baby is born, like a standard maternity leave. So that way the baby is safe through all those times. And then I will house and care for the baby at my house afterwards.
And you can visit.
But if you do not, like, here's my requirements of like, you not stealing, you not gambling, all of these things, and I'm not going to give you like any extra money or anything, like cover extra stuff like I did in the past, maybe groceries, like I buy the groceries and then you eat it. But what do you think about that? I mean, and you have that time to improve, to prove to me that you are good and we can maybe continue this relationship, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think he should definitely stop the stealing. I don't know. It's hard. It's so complicated because it's his kid. If it was my kid, I would probably have them live with me rather than have them out on the street.
Yeah.
Ideally, they live somewhere else. Also, are they like still in a relationship?
That's the thing, is that like, it sounds like they haven't even talked about that at all. He's just like, oh, you're not going to live here anymore. But it's like, are we like taking a break? Are you breaking up with me?
First, define the relationship. Are you still boyfriend and girlfriend?
They're on and off
Yes.
again.
They're on and off again.
Not again.
All right. Define the relationship.
Yes.
Priority 1. 2, no tolerance for stealing. If she steals again,
If you steal from me, if you do any of these things once, as soon as your maternity leave period is over, you're gone. And I'm telling you now, so you have,
why doesn't she, couldn't she live with her mom or sister?
I mean, if they need to steal from OP, like that doesn't sound like a great environment to be. Maybe you could be right, but maybe OP is like, hey, I don't want my baby, pre and post birth to be living in that unstable sounding environment. At least I can like make sure the baby is cared for. And then, a few months after the baby's born, then, you got to figure it out on your own. Now you can go live with them in an unstable environment, but my child is here and safe and well cared for. I feel like that's a pretty, what do you think, Sophia? I feel like it's
And I think that makes sense to me.
yeah. And that gives her like enough time to like,
You're still on the maternity leave residency
yeah. And basically if you mess up once, you're out.
after the 4 months.
Yeah.
I think he could also sue for child, like full custody.
Custody. Yeah. Because he like, look at all this evidence he has. It's like she was stealing, like she admitted to it.
Well, yeah, he can say she doesn't have the proper funds, nor does she have a home.
Keep the receipts so you can get full custody of the kid. That's what you should do. Oh, here we go. You, and this is basically piggybacking off John with extra justification. So maternity leave residency. And during that time, basically use everything crappy that she does, which she's going to do, as evidence to build your case. At 4 months, I think you already know this person isn't going to be good for your kid. Use that to get full custody. So then you're taking care of your kid, you're taking care of her while she's pregnant, and you're building a case for your future to get full custody of your kid. I'm so down with maternity residency. I think it's a great idea. What would you guys do? Put your answers in the comments below. But there is an update. So, update, March 20th, 2024. I sat her down and gave her an ultimatum early last week. Love an ultimatum. I explained to her that we are a family and became a family when she decided to have a baby with me. I told her, if we're going to stay together, okay, I guess OP's staying together with this person, she's going to have to be a lot more open, which I guess means don't lie to me and steal from me. Contribute, which I guess means don't steal. And no more taking on debt she can't afford, which brings it to my door when she can't pay. I also told her I want to see her bank statements because I suspect that she has a gambling problem and is in some serious debt.
I just suspected.
No, we know.
She's lost $300 in debt to gambling, but I just got a hint.
In 20 minutes. In 20
20
minutes.
minutes?
$300 bucks in 20 minutes?
That's crazy.
She's gonna be on a winning streak.
Yeah.
again.
She's gonna bounce back on the next one. You know
Yeah,
what
He's
I mean?
coming back.
It's a rough period. It's a rough
You gotta
period.
lose to win sometimes.
Exactly. It's called investing. 90% of gamblers quit right before a big win.
Is that true? Bro, you sounded so confident.
I mean, if you keep gambling, you're probably going to win at some point.
but win more than you lost.
Well, no, of course not. But win.
One single win. Yeah.
And you know what they say?
Dude, that is so true.
Never give up. Anyway, I suspect she has a gambling problem and some serious debt. She agreed to all of this and is committed to showing me the bank statements when I ask, and says going forward, she'll pay towards bills. I believe she's turned a corner and I've started getting along with her better, and she has moved back in. So one happy family. Nothing could go wrong. There's no way this doesn't.
Everything's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
This is going to suck. As I was sitting next to her phone last night, she went to grab a drink and her phone lit up with a text message. It read, "Loan accepted by ex-lender. Click here to accept." I immediately called her out and she starts crying, telling me she has no money left again for the month and she's had to resort to payday loans for some money. I tell her she should have come to me, and I told her, I explicitly said no more loans.
This is immediately unraveling. Immediately.
He's like, these are the rules. Here you go. We can work this out. She's like, for sure. 2 seconds later. Ooh, so I may have taken on a little loan.
But Sophia, I feel you're forgetting that no one could have seen this coming. No one could have seen this coming.
It was
Impossible.
out of
We
the
had
blue.
no indicators.
I am shocked.
We have no predictive tools.
We have no predictive tools.
There
We
was
have no golden rules to help
foreshadowing
us.
at all.
No,
Our
no
reading
foreshadowing.
comprehension was
It
perfect.
was 100%. So she also tells me that she won't be able to afford to pay towards bills again. This was the following month after having this conversation. She works full time and brings home around $1,400 to $1,200 a month, depending on hours. But a lot of the time she phones sick, so gets sick pay, which is a lot less. I asked to see her bank statements and she refuses, telling me I'm being controlling.
You literally agreed to this.
You can't control anything. You have no self-control. Someone needs to help control. OP, honestly, this person just needs to have no control over their finances. Like, this person should give OP control over their finances.
Like, no control over OP's own finances.
No. OP's girlfriend needs to not control her finances.
Oh, yes, 1,000%. But honestly, is this a situation where she just has to go to rock bottom in order to finally... She's clearly not getting the
I
message.
feel like she's at rock bottom, though.
She's not. She's living in
That's
a house.
true.
Not yet.
That's true. Financially, she's at rock
Wait,
bottom.
post-maternity leave.
You're right. Yeah, she'll be out on the streets. Sadly, that's so sad.
That's so sad.
But true.
Anyway, I asked to see her bank statements and she told me I'm being controlling. I don't need to see them. That's the last straw for me. I'm almost certain she's been giving it away at this point or gambling. I give her a scenario. Your baby is starving and needs food and there's none in the house. Where are you going to go?
He's giving her hypotheticals. He's like, okay, imagine your baby starving, you on the
Deserted
streets.
island. 3 books. Which books do you bring? She replies, you'll have to pay. That's fine. I'll happily support my son, I tell her, because the mother is clearly a deadbeat. So I asked to see her Facebook Messenger to see if her family has been hitting her up for free money again, and conveniently, all of the family members that borrow from her have the chats cleared. She says she deletes them to be tidy, yet mine's still there. Yeah, the classic, I deleted to be tidy. I told her this isn't going to work, and she tells me I'm a controlling freak And she agrees.
No longer a control freak. You are a controlling freak.
Controlling
A
freak.
freak of controlling.
And I have not heard from her since. Moral of the story is she's too damaged from her upbringing. I'm guessing that some people you just can't change. She still messages me asking how I am, but I'm just ignoring her except for anything baby related. I need to move on. I know a lot of people question whether she's pregnant, how stupid I was to get her pregnant, I agree, and if it's mine. I've been to every scan, so I know she's pregnant. As for if it's mine, I've never suspected cheating, but she's a serial liar, so I will be forcing a DNA test through the courts. I posted on a couple of different subs to make sure I wasn't getting biased opinions. The above story is 100% true. I wish it wasn't, believe me, but my focus is now getting as far away as possible from her for my own sake. And there is an update. But you can't get that far away because you have a baby with her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like it all leads up to the point of the baby actually being delivered. And then it's like, okay, now you can sue for custody rights and all of that stuff and then have a clearer separation, right? Even then, like...
You can't do anything until the baby's out.
Yeah, you can't really do anything until the baby's
so you
out.
Can't keep, I don't know if you can keep her that much as at a distance.
I think I would be like, you're staying here, but we're not in a relationship and I'm doing this to care for the baby, and like you can self-destruct your financial life and whatever, and like I'm not gonna involve myself anymore if you're not gonna help yourself, and you can just torpedo your own life. Go ahead, but I'm gonna make sure the baby's okay here and now, and then I'm gonna take care of the baby once.
Yeah, which is kind of what he's done, and he's put his foot down, and it seems like she's not gonna be on the streets. I don't think.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
That's what it seems like. I don't know. What would y'all do? Put your answers in the comments. It's really hard because like I feel like this person should be out of his life as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it is the mother of his child.
I think, and this might even just be like a, it's like not necessary, but like more satisfying for me. I feel like I would like to literally see like have the unborn baby like close. Like that would give me a feeling of, so I can kind of just like literally see how she's doing regularly. I think that would give me a mental sense of ease. In reality, she's probably okay at the parents' house.
Agreed. But do you want to get into this update?
Let's do it.
This happened a couple days ago. After a couple of weeks of learning, she was sleeping around on family members or friends' sofas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you stop.
She was sleeping
on the couch.
I allowed her back into the house given that she is pregnant around a month ago. Out of concern for the baby, really, given she's now 8 months pregnant. Stupid on my part, and I'm going to explain why I regret it. I recently moved houses a couple months ago, and she was involved in the packing and unpacking whilst I was out, mainly unpacking. I had a pretty large stack of cash in the drawer of the cabinet in the living room.
Honestly.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
You're stupid. You invited a person who you know steals from you, and you kept cash in the house?
Put I see you in the comments if you see what's coming.
Type it in. Tell me, Sam.
Around 400 to 500 quid. This was a Christmas gift from my parents. During this time, I was also sold a lot of old furniture, including a sofa, which she begged for me to sell to her mother. I begrudgingly accepted this. She told me her mother had asked to borrow the money from her repeatedly to buy it from me and asked if she could pay a couple of weeks after she took it. No biggie. That's fine, I told her.
He's a rich idiot.
Yeah.
There's no way
that he just agreed to that.
She's literally saying the same thing that she's continually lied about. She could pay a couple weeks after. There's no way she's paying for it.
Because she was stealing for the mom before, and
You're
knows
an
this.
Idiot. You're an idiot.
You should know this.
Her mother collects a sofa, giving me $100 cash initially, and tells me the rest will be with me in a week. No, it's not. A week comes around, she tells me it'll be next month. But she's not happy as it's collapsed, and I need to come take a look. Not only does the money not come, he has to go be a handyman. I tell her it was fine, but she collected it, and I'm not taking a look. Basically, if you don't want it, I'll collect it and sell it to someone who wants to pay. She tells me I'm not welcome in their house. My girlfriend ex told me there was nothing wrong with the sofa at all when it was collected, and her mother tells her she's also not welcome. My ex then flips it on to me, telling me I'm controlling, and she didn't need to get involved, which caused a falling out with her family. I didn't make her, but I told her it showed where her priorities lie when she's defending them and not wanting to get involved over them screwing me over.
We know where her priorities lie.
Of course. She's been stealing your money, giving it to them for like
ages.
ages. It was left at that. Back to the money. I went to see where the money went and searched the entire house. It's not there. No shit. But everything that was unpacked was there. Even pointless shit like a brown light bulb. Of course she's not going to steal a brown light bulb.
Even worse than a brown light bulb, a blown light bulb.
Oh, a blown light bulb. I ask her where the money is and she immediately gets defensive. Tells me it's somewhere. And immediately I think this is all the same answers as the last time. No shit. It then dawned on me that the money I was gifted was in $10 notes.
You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Sam,
He's an idiot!
Sam, finish this sentence for me.
I'm not.
Finish this godforsaken
I'm not
sentence.
realizing that maybe this woman who's really bad with money is really good at finding stupid people to steal from.
Which is a talent.
It is a talent.
It then dawned on me that the money I was gifted was in $10 notes. And the money I was partly paid with for the sofa was also in $10 notes. So my suspicion... Just a theory. As she stole my money for her to hand to her mother to pay me. I basically paid myself minus what had been taken.
You're so stupid.
See, like, I don't even feel bad for OP anymore because he's so stupid.
Loki, do you deserve to be robbed when you're this stupid? I think the answer is yes.
I confronted her and she replied, even if I did admit it to try to sort things out, I don't care about you anymore, so I don't need to. Probably makes sense why she was trying to take a loan out roughly the same time she would have taken the money. So there we have it. I let her stop for a while and this is where it's landed me. Her stealing again. Whilst I have no solid proof whatsoever, it could only be her. Yes, that took it. And if everything else got unpacked, then she certainly took it. She's now threatening to out me to people for who I really am, a victim of theft, I guess. No, an idiot. And she'll tell everyone how awful I am for not bothering to contact her. I've thrown her back out again for the very last time, and I'm just relieved. Not sad at all. Whilst I still have no proof, her reaction is all the proof I need. Now I'm forcing a DNA test at birth, smart, and will fight to make sure no child of mine is brought up in a family like hers. She is poison. People like her don't change, they just take more. And that is a wrap to this story.
I have a conspiracy theory to end this story with.
All right, I want to hear a conspiracy theory, but to everyone in the comments, do you think OP is an idiot? One. And two, do you think OP has made any improper moves? Like, what would you do differently? Would you throw the girlfriend out sooner? Or would you do the maternity leave residency thing? What would you do? John, what do you think?
Very curious to hear. Yeah, so one, without a doubt, he's a complete moron. A rich moron, though, so congrats to you, I guess.
And I feel like he gave her a lot of breaks. So, like, maybe a rich, thoughtful moron.
Yeah.
He really tried.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah, because in the second part, yeah, he tried.
Too hard, you may say.
Too hard.
Tried
Yeah.
too hard.
For me personally, my desire to be close to the child and just have that, like, what's the word, like sense of ease of like being able to see the baby and like know that it's like okay might trump my insane frustration with the mother and make me want to still do the maternity leave for
Yeah, well, because I would just want to take care of my kid.
yeah, and it's temporary, you know, like I think you could like I could be like, all right, there's a light at the end of the tunnel of this like
Crazy situation. And yes, she might steal more of my clothes.
she might, but I would just get locks and you know
Yeah, just make sure all my bank account information is tidied up.
lock it down. Obviously very unideal, like obviously not what you would want to do, but the best in a list of crappy options. Would you?
Give the maternity.
Yeah, what do you think
Yeah,
you
I
would do?
think so. I mean, it's my kid.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to make sure the kid's taken care of and she's not like on the street and like, I don't know, gets addicted to some drug or whatever.
And I think like, I mean, the OP is not the highest grade in the dispensary, but I think we would be able to figure out how to like, you know how like child proof it?
Yeah.
You know, robber X proof.
Yeah,
our
yeah. I
apartments.
think you could make sure that she doesn't steal much. Like all of your valuables you give to like family or something.
Lock it down real quick to my conspiracy theory. Put an ICU on the comics real quick if you see what I'm about to say. I think she targeted OP from the beginning because she instantly knew he was a rich idiot, got pregnant by him, so that way in her mind tried to keep the gravy chain rolling forever, get child support, alimony maybe, all of the things, but she got her hand forced too early before she was able to have the kid and like get him like further and further entrapped with her.
I raise you one further. Not his kid.
Raise me.
Not his kid. Got pregnant beforehand, found rich idiot to pay for all of her
Do
stuff.
we know how long were they in a relationship? Because she's 8 months pregnant right now. I remember 8 months pregnant.
They've been living together for 10 months.
Okay, they've been living together for 10 months.
And it's a girlfriend. I mean, it doesn't matter. She could have like cheated even if they were together.
So probably, yeah, if she cheated, it would have been close to around the time she moved, but probably not. Because if she moved in less than 8 months ago, it would be almost certainly she's like, oh, I'm pretty confident I got pregnant by the other guy. So let me like move in to like really like lock in. But yeah, I think she intentionally targeted this guy and tried to.
But OP, I feel bad for you in that you're in this situation and that you don't seem to have the mental faculties to take it. I don't know, man. Like, get a grip.
Like, he's very lucky that he has the income he has, because let's say he was a server. Like, this is a USD, maybe like $600 or $700 bucks flying around.
Like, that's real money.
That is real money.
That could be the difference of paying rent, but luckily he's a rich idiot.
Exactly. So yeah, luckily he skates out okay, probably. But yeah, wow. That one's so frustrating.
I know, it's so frustrating. It's like watching the horror movies, and it's like, don't go into the house.
Yeah, don't go back.
Through the door. Stop. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Kind of like, honestly, did you ever see Uncut Gems?
No.
I've seen 15 minutes of it.
Wait, you mean with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I have, actually.
Dude, I was just about to say, is this the first movie
No,
I have
I've
seen
seen it.
you all have not?
I saw
seen it.
15 minutes of it and then I didn't like it.
That one's similar to he keeps gambling, and it's like, you're like, stop, yeah. But you know what, Sam? I want to take a gamble and say, do we have another story?
I think we do.
Oh, and I'm going to read it.
But you know what you should do before we read it?
What?
Subscribe.
Yeah, don't gamble with your content like, oh, what am I going to watch? Subscribe to us and we will hand deliver amazing content to you.
We will loan out amazing content.
Yeah.
That's right. For free.
For free.
Pay us back by maybe leaving a like and a comment.
We love you. But let's get into this next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my older two kids traitors for saying they want to live with their aunt over me? Ooh, well, this comes from Throwaway CV Way, who says, I, 47 female, was married for 21 years. Hey, not short. With 3 kids, now 16 female, 15 male, and 13 male, when my husband passed away from a stroke. My husband was a great man who always tried his best. He always had his heart set on being an entrepreneur, but struggled with making tough business decisions. 2 years before he passed away from the stroke, he had another stroke, and that made him prone to impulsive decisions. I've never even considered the implications of like
having a stroke.
Yeah, having a stroke, and then that like,
well, no, okay, totally change how you think.
Yeah, like your brain is like almost rewired essentially. That's crazy.
Heart set and heart stop.
Yes. This guy, he hired a friend, a lousy bookkeeper, who gave him further bad advice. My husband insisted I stop working when our youngest son, 13 male, was born.
Oh, I see. I feel like their finances are going to go downhill.
Before that, I had worked part-time as a receptionist and then helped him with admin tasks, co-signed on our business loans I didn't fully understand. Oof.
Uh-oh. I see you in the comments if you see what's coming.
That might come back to bite her. And it was on a business bank account. I supported him through the lows of when one business failed and then he started another. My youngest son, Mark, is severely autistic. My husband passed away with a lot of debt and a lot of negligence in terms of bookkeeping and taxes.
Leaving his family with a whole world of trouble.
Oh my, that is...
And also OP co-signs, so she's responsible.
And maybe she, like it gets passed to her anyways. Maybe, I'm not sure how that works, but that's good. Leave a comment
if you might inherit your partner's debts.
I feel like that's the thing.
If you get married.
Drop a comment below if you're aware. I tried parlaying my unique experience being the head admin of a household with an autistic kid to executive assistant roles or school jobs, but besides a noon aide job, the schools were not hiring. I feel like being a executive assistant to maybe like a wealthy, I have a friend who's a executive assistant to like super rich family, and I think she makes.
I had an ex-girlfriend who was an executive assistant to the Prince of Saudi Arabia.
I mean,
and made a crap ton of money.
I can see that. My sister invited us all to stay with her and share household expenses, but she told me a few months ago that her 11-year-old daughter is afraid of my 13-year-old, and my brother-in-law started claiming my my 13-year-old expenses were an excessive burden. They were saying my 13-year-old needed to leave, which obviously translated to me having to leave, but I had $120 in my bank account at the time. Oh, they evicted us, but it's only on my record 4 months ago, and my kids and I had to first live in a car and then a shelter. My sister then calls my oldest kids behind my back and tells them if they continue to keep their room clean as before and pull their weight around the house, they could move back in. Which, really quick pit stop, I mean, obviously like a whole move on the sister / aunt's family, but if I'm in that position, I would rather have at least 2 of my kids have like a stable home while I maybe figure out and like can save up more to maybe get back on my feet. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would begrudgingly let it happen, but
Wait, so basically they're saying we don't want to house your autistic child, but we'll house the other 2 children.
Yes.
I think if I was the parent, like I would take any help that I can get, even though it's like a little messed up. But it's like also,
I think it's very messed up, but I agree. I would still send.
But maybe it's more like, hey, like we don't have the bandwidth. Like her son is severely autistic. So it doesn't sound like they have the bandwidth to take care of a severely autistic kid, but they do have the bandwidth to take care of like maybe 2 neurotypical kids.
The way that they went about it, I think, was very wrong, where they almost like bait and switched them and then like invited the kids behind her back. Like, communicate.
Yeah, that's very messed up. I feel like if you just said that, it's like, hey, like I don't know if we have the bandwidth. Like literally what I just said. I don't know if we have the bandwidth to take care of your autistic son, but I think we could bring in so you have more time to really give the care that he needs.
Like could we maybe like contribute some amount? I don't know. There's got to try to come up with a plan.
There's so many better options than what they did.
Yes. But then her and my kids exchange texts where they complain about how dealing with shelters and motels has affected their brother. My kids then tell me they want to move back to their aunt's house. I tell them she evicted me and by extension, all of us. And if she doesn't want me or her brother there, then she doesn't want any of us because we are a unit. Despite that, they continue to want to live with their aunt. I ask them what kind of mom would I be if I just gave my kids away to somebody else? And I don't understand why they weren't angrier at their aunt and uncle for saying their younger brother was a burden and how hurting him hurts me and them too. I told them if they wanted to go, they have arms and legs, but if they are making this decision, know that their brother will feel like they are traitors and I feel betrayed too. Am I the a-hole? They are still with me and I really as a mom feel it's unthinkable to just be separate from my young kids and still feel that I like to tell them a hard no, that they need to stay with me because we're a family even when times are a bit tough now. We have some relevant comments.
If you're thinking what's best for your kid, you're not going to do what you did.
That is pretty messed up to say you're traitors for children, like literal children wanting to live in a stable.
They're probably
house.
Scared, you know, like
Definitely.
they're scared and like,
and it's very, I mean, it's disruptive, you know,
it's disruptive. I think I would tell them like, I want to build a home where everyone is welcome, but for the time being, I'm going to temporarily sacrifice this and do everything I can to build, save up, etc. till we can have a stable home of our own again. Yeah, I wouldn't put this on the kids. I don't think.
I wouldn't put it on the kids at all. If you're thinking about what is best for all of the kids, it is probably best for those 2 kids to go to the aunt so they have a more stable house where they can like, you know, get schoolwork done and all that. And then which gives the mom more time to give the attention to her autistic son.
If that is literally the only option you have at this red hot second, yeah, like that, like.
No, ideally all of them would be with the aunt. I do think it's an a-hole move what the aunt did. However,
wait. Can you? I think I missed that part. Can you give me exact clarity on what the aunt did?
So basically, initially, they were like, hey, you can come live with us, all of the kids. And then they were like, hey, this is too much. We're kicking all of you out. Afterwards,
they had the kids over for a little bit.
OP and the kids over for a bit. After that, all of them were bouncing around between like car, shelters, and motels, right? So basically like homeless, bouncing from like place to place. And then the aunt went to older kids, the 2 neurotypical kids, and said, hey, I will let you 2 come back and live here, excluding and not communicating with OP about it directly.
Which I think is messed up, but it's also messed up for OP to basically not do what
is best for,
kids.
Yeah.
And also taking in a severely autistic kid,
that's a lot,
especially for someone who doesn't know how to take care of a kid like that. Like it's very hard. It's extremely hard. And like, I think like, yes, they went about it wrong and they went behind OP OP's back.
It is better to have the two kids have a stable home rather than not.
Yeah, but I also understand them not having the bandwidth because they have their own.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that either. I'm saying like how they went about everything was not good because they could have come to the table and at a bare minimum tried, even if they ultimately.
I feel like they also could have like been like, hey, we understand we want your family to be a unit for the time being until you get on your feet. We can take care of your two kids so you can give the attention you need to your autistic child and find a job that can give you a little stability. Like I think if you said that with like, we want you to all be a family again, I think that could be pretty good.
And maybe like I don't know if there's some way to like create like a budget or financial plan or like, oh hey, maybe I can help you get some work or something, like some sort of thing like that doesn't involve them taking on too much of a burden that they can handle.
Did the aunt go to OP and ask?
That's a great question.
No, the aunt texted the kids behind her back and she found out from the kids.
That was afterwards, but you were asking who like initiated it, which I think is actually a
like, did the kids reach out to the aunt?
I believe the aunt reached out.
The aunt was the first to reach out.
I think so. My sister invited us all to stay with her and share household expenses, but she told me a few months in that her 11-year-old daughter is afraid of my 13-year-old, and brother-in-law started claiming my 13-year-old's expenses were an excessive burden. So again, I think they could have come to the table and tried to figure out a scenario where, they just didn't communicate. They communicated terribly, and I feel like put OP in a bad spot where they could have just like.
But also a couple months. They put him up for a couple months.
They did, and I think it was just the planning, and it almost feels like the communication feels almost vindictive. That's not the right word, but like it's not vindictive, but it's like
I don't think it is intentional.
Why would you go behind the back?
I think it's really weird to ask the kid.
I feel like potentially they knew that OP would not do what's in the best interest of those kids.
Would react that way. That is totally possible.
Felt that if they went to OP directly, I think this is assuming too much, which is not good, but if they went to OP directly, then they would lose the ability to contact those kids at all.
Right.
And they wanted to just give the kids the option.
I think all of the adults in this story are putting way too much on these kids. I think they're putting too many decisions on these children. Like, for example, we have the aunt
I agree.
going behind the parents' back and approaching the kids. And then we have the mom saying that they're traitors for wanting to be like in a safe environment.
What a position to be in as the kids.
The kids are basically homeless. Like they're choosing between
living in a shelter or living
homelessness.
in their aunt's house.
Yeah, which obviously you would choose the aunts.
Yeah.
What do you all think? Put your answers in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Do you think the aunt was out of pocket for going behind the back of OP?
Yeah. And if you've ever had any sort of similar situation, share your story below for some context. Okay, on to some relevant comments to close us out. Space Jesus is here says, you actually expect two children to pick homelessness over having a safe, stable home.
That's what I said.
Yes, that would be unreasonable on its own, but calling them traitors makes you a clear a-hole. Don't force your kids into homelessness. That's actually insane. Instead, be deeply grateful that your bills are reduced by 2 mouths and that those kids are way better off where they are. I'm sorry for the way your life has gone, but you're the a-hole. Don't force these kids to give up a chance at success in life because you can't offer that to them. And a little lady responds, also, I'm confused why OP said that the eviction is only on her record, as if she thought her minor children should also have it on their record as if they're adults. Yeah, that is a good point. And also, as a mother, she should want what's best for her kids. Time to put her pride in a pocket, put on her big girl pants, and take the 2 kids to her sister.
Which is kind of what we've been saying.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying. She should definitely, it's ultimately the options she has immediately in front of her right now, the best case scenario is to bring the 2 kids there so they have a stable home and she has more space and money to build up to a safe foundation.
I also feel like we've been too harsh on the aunt. It's like we're basically, for being an angel, we're making them an a-hole.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think the scenario you mentioned, while we don't know for sure and we don't have all the context, is very possible that maybe OP is just so prideful that she knew, she's like, if I went to OP directly, then she would try to cut me off and like then I wouldn't be able to offer a safe home for these 2 kids. And I want to, that is like, she is offering to take in 2 kids who, albeit are her, I think nieces and nephews, are not her own children.
Yeah, she's offering to take in kids that are not her own kids.
And she's like, hey, let me do this so I can like protect my, angel move and go to the kids directly. It's like her hand was forced a little bit maybe, where she's like,
potentially,
I don't want to like have to put the decision on these kids potentially, but I kind of have to because that's the only way they might be able able to come.
But hey, it's a messy situation. I'm curious, do you think the aunt did anything wrong in going behind the back of OP?
Yes.
And do you think OP is being prideful and prioritizing her pride over her kids?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments.
I think both the adults in this situation are being a little a-hole-ish.
I think OP is definitely an a-hole. I think the aunt is the angel and made out to be an a-hole. I mean, literally taking in 2 kids that aren't her. She doesn't have to do that.
That's true. I don't know. It's just the way that she went about it.
She literally put them up for months. What if it was the only way that the kids
But we
could
don't
get
know
access?
that.
We don't know
don't-
that.
we
We don't
We're
know
assuming,
that.
we're
We're
assuming.
just
Yeah.
assuming. So I guess there is a world where she's the angel for, and I think it's totally fair. But there's also a world where
So I think we all agree that
OP
is the
yes.
a-hole.
Yeah.
But what we're asking is the aunt the angel or the a-hole?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. And I think that's where there might be some disagreement in the comments. So put your answers in the comments. We love to hear what you think.
Absolutely. But you know what else I would love, Sam?
To hear this next story?
Yes, please.
Am I the a-hole for leaving after my girlfriend gave birth to our disabled child?
Sounds like it.
Parent of the Year award.
For real.
This comes from Substantial Fox 4386. I grew up in a home with a disabled brother. All of my parents' money and attention went to him. They pretty much forgot that I existed. All of our family activities were predicated on my brother's ability to participate. I did not qualify for financial aid. I was not a great student, and honestly, attending college would have been a waste of money. Instead, my grandfather helped me get a job on the oil rigs.
Yeah.
That's some hard, dirty, lonely work, which is what OP says. It is hard, dirty, and lonely work, but it pays very well. I didn't know that. Any oil riggers out there, let us know. I started as a floor hand apprentice. I guess it is
Hands
basically
to the floor.
the lowest of the low. Yeah, I guess it's like you are not above the floor. You are the floor. Put your hand on the floor because that's what you are.
Yeah.
Scum. Floor scum.
Dark oil scum.
Dark scum. I did not cut off my family, but I did go out of my way to stay in contact. I was working in another state and they did not have time for me anyway. Got a call about 10 years later. My little brother had passed away. I went to the funeral and my folks looked about 25 years older. It was good to see them, but I left pretty quickly afterward. It's hard to explain, but I never really got attached to them since they had ignored me since I was 5. I was never abused or anything. I was just sort of a second thought.
Dang. I mean,
if OP feels like mistreated in this way, I understand there not being a connection.
do we know how old the OP is?
OP is probably at least 30s.
Yeah. It feels like he was a little bit Harry Pottered. Like,
Yeah.
treated as like, we'll give you just enough to like be okay and like
To survive.
and like be okay, but like not much else other than that. That's also a hard position. It kind of, everyone loses, It's hard for the parents. It's obviously hard for him. Like,
Having a child that has no special needs, hard thing already.
Already.
But special needs, it's like, especially if you're not ready for it. It's
huge
just
workload.
huge
for
workload.
sure.
It's like double the workload.
Yeah.
Triple?
I don't know.
I don't
honestly.
know. How much extra work is it? Let us know. When my girlfriend got pregnant, I was happy. We'd been together for 3 years and I was happy with her. I hope I was making her happy. We talked about it and we decided to get all the tests so we would know if we're going to have a healthy baby. Before the first test, we agreed that if we were not having a healthy baby, then we were not having a baby. I know it is a horrible thing to contemplate, but I had been through that life for 13 years and I was free of it with no interest in going back. I want to know, everyone in the comments, what do we think about that decision? John.
It's too much. It's too much.
I think if you're not prepared to have a baby with special needs, you're not prepared to have a baby.
If you want to make a decision as extreme as that, like, do you actually want the risk in getting pregnant?
OP's eliminating the risk.
Or just adopt, maybe? I don't know, dude. I think that's way too extreme.
Sophia, do you think it's too extreme?
Yes, I think it is too extreme. I already said it. You gotta be ready for all the circumstances when you're deciding to have a baby.
If you were going to have a baby and its heart was born outside of its chest, which is a thing that I saw on the internet recently that can happen, and it's basically that baby would have extreme health complications, would you still have that baby?
That is different to me. I think there is a quality of life thing. If it's like this child is going to die, that's a different story.
This child's not going to die, but it will live in pain.
That's completely different.
Extreme cases.
Like organ health, like things of that nature, and like the doctor probably.
Yeah.
In that case,
I feel like this is, very complex issue that's probably also divided on religious lines as well. I would be curious, without anyone getting too ham in the comments, I would be curious what you would do in this situation, and if ever, what would make you not want to have that child? If you did a bunch of tests, is there anything that would be like, I wouldn't have that child?
And personal stories, if someone has gone through, something or knows someone, and like what that looked like in real life and how you approached it and dealt with it.
But let's get back to this story. So one of the tests came back positive for one of the conditions that we had decided we would not want a child.
would not want
a child. They both decided previously, so that we decided we would not want a child. Please understand that I am not in any way saying that people with disabilities should not be born, only that I knew I would not want to be around for that. We had a second, third, and even fourth option. I spent a lot of my savings on tests that insurance would not cover fully. It was not a great time. Then my girlfriend said that she changed her mind, that she could not terminate. I argued with her for days, weeks, until it was too late. I told her that I would not choose to be around to help with a child, that I would pay child support, but that was it. So they agree that under circumstances beforehand that they would terminate the pregnancy. One of those circumstances comes true. And then with, I imagine, the emotional connection that happens in pregnancy, she changes her mind.
Yeah, she wants to keep the baby.
What do we think about that?
Of course. Like, I feel like in her shoes, like I could come to a similar conclusion. Sure, it's like, oh, this is what, like, actually going through that process is probably like so different than like what you can imagine. And then you like grow this connection. Like, yeah, I want to keep the baby.
There's more to the story, but do you think OP in this moment, as far as we know, is the a-hole for basically like, hey, here's the context of where I wanted to have a kid. And now that context is broken, he is absolved of a-holery by stepping out.
Okay, so typically in most every other scenario that we encounter on this show, when someone is super clear, super explicit, and it's usually like, oh, hey, I don't want to date long distance. Hey, I don't want to be in a poly relationship. It's usually things like that where they're like, they set it out very clear, and then, their partner wants to do the thing, and they're like, hey, that thing that I clearly communicated, I no longer want to be in a relationship for that reason. While OP did clearly communicate, and I guess props to him for that, I get better to not communicate. Ultimately, even though it's an impossible scenario, if I have to choose, I think I'll say a-hole. But like the other thing here, the big fat asterisk is like, you do not know. I can sit here in this chair and like judge and give them this decree. You do not freaking know until you are in that moment. So even though I'll say a-hole just to like pick a side,
I would say not the a-hole.
I can't really judge.
I would say not the a-hole just because of how, even though maybe we can say that like those pretenses are so harsh and maybe we wouldn't set those pretenses, because of the life experience that he had and because of how clear he was and because his partner agreed, there was like a kind of like a contract, a relationship contract. And like she has every right to do what she wants, but does she still have the right to OP's involvement other than what is legally responsible for? I feel like maybe less so.
Yeah. Also, like it's like child support. I don't know if that's like the legally mandated or like I'm hoping it's like as much as OP can versus what is because like
legal, because
we looked it up and we were
good.
like, yo, child support in some place like $100 a month,
and also like
that.
Child support for a child with special needs.
Exactly.
Like you would probably need a lot more.
Exactly. This is a tough one.
Obviously, we are completely unqualified.
10 million %.
Like
yeah.
we've never experienced anything like this. So really passing it off to the comments, like I want to know what y'all think because this is above our pay grade.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, like I think it's one of those things that like we're here, we read these stories and we give our commentary, but like truly, like unless you're in this have been in this position before, like this feels like an impossible scenario to be in.
It's also tough because, as you said, he's gone through it for 14 years. So he does.
Yeah. I feel a lot of empathy for him.
Who else would have more context on this? Our relationship was on cruise control from then until the baby was born. I made sure she got home safe from the hospital and then I went to work and I never went back. I pay the child support that I was ordered to pay by court. I did not fight it or dodge it, but I have not seen her or the child since the hospital. I got married 3 years later. We were expecting our first child, and I heard from my ex the child had passed away. She wanted me to come to the funeral. So 3 years, so the child had passed away after 3 years. I said no. I knew it was coming. It was still a gut punch. I feel like I'm maybe a little a-hole for that.
Yeah,
maybe.
that, come on. Like,
At least just like support someone you had.
and that doesn't involve, like, it's emotional, obviously, but
It's like, is that going to really
it's not, you don't
upset
have
your
to, like,
balance?
sacrifice your life.
That feels petty. That move feels petty. The other stuff, I understand that feels a little bit more petty. My parents are upset with me for how I handled things. They went to the funeral. I told them I did not want the life they had lived while my brother was alive, and that my ex had tried to force me into it after agreeing not to. They said that they were disappointed that they had not raised me right. I got angry and said that they had not raised me at all. I asked them to show me anything they had from my childhood that showed that they had taken the slightest interest in me. They said that it wasn't fair because they had to take care of my brother. I just said that was my point and hung up. I feel like crap about the whole thing, but my ex knew how I felt and why. To this day, I do not understand why she changed her mind. My wife and I talked before getting married and made the same decision. And thank God we did not have to make it, but she understood how I felt. Her mom and dad talked to us about it, and they told us that we had to do what was best for us. I told them everything about my past that was relevant to my relationship with their daughter. Sorry for rambling, but I guess I am just trying to put all my thoughts down while I have the courage to ask, am I the a-hole?
I've never felt more gravity in that question, am I the a-hole, than this story right here,
This
truly.
is hard.
Right?
I think OP is not the a-hole for the first part.
Yeah.
I think there was a specific, like they engaged in this relationship under a specific context that they both agreed to. If she did not agree to it, OP wouldn't have moved forward, right? So they have both agreed. You can bandy about was the agreement effed up to begin with, but like once, and actually I would love to know, do you think the agreement is effed up to begin with?
But yeah, I do think it's a separate.
It's a separate thing.
Yeah,
It's a separate thing.
You can look at the
So
two.
like,
Am I the
yeah, I'm really curious. Do you think it was effed up to begin with? I think like there are people that are going to be like pro-life that are like, of course, 100%. I would also be curious for the people who are maybe like more pro-choice, like what lines do you kind of draw around that? And then for the changing her mind, I totally understand that, right? There's like all the emotional
100%.
connection, whatever, hormones and stuff. I think she can change her mind, but I don't think she is entitled to the same relationship with OP because their relationship was built upon a fundamental understanding and contract that they had both agreed to.
Yeah.
And for that, OP, not the a-hole. For not going to the funeral, I think that's an a-hole move.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just really asking for emotional support for a man for a moment.
Yeah, other than like obviously like probably not a fun thing to do, probably a lot of emotional labor. I don't want to belittle that, but just doing that one thing, it's not like caring for a child. That is a lifelong obligation. So
Yeah. Like I think I can imagine if both of us were in the situation of the option to go to this funeral, I feel like we would all go.
definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like we would all go. I'm curious, would you go to this funeral? But yeah, I feel like we would all go. So I think like that's where the a-holery comes in for me, but way less clear in the first.
No, 100%. Because again, he did clearly communicate and did like lay out
Yeah.
kind of what he wanted and like if that happened, what he would do, which is what he did.
But this is an extremely complex scenario. And so like really passing it off to you guys, like anyone who's been in this kind of situation, or if you have strong opinions on either side of this, we'd love to hear what you think.
I think it also becomes a little bit more difficult because of going back to what you were saying of what if the child has, a heart problem like developed outside of their chest or something like that. And the fact that we find out later that the child died only like, I think it was
Couple
like
years, like 3 years.
2 or 3 years after being born. So maybe there was quality of life things that came out of this disease, which it seems like there were.
Probably.
So that I think that also kind of colors his decision probably.
And like thinking about like you're living through like two impossible scenarios. The first one is it was the brother, right?
Yes.
Your brother gets all of the like attention and like you basically are, quote unquote, not raised by your parents. So like your childhood is like kind of effed because of that. But it's like, of course, like it's terrible because you don't want to like blame this person who literally did nothing wrong. Of course, it was just circumstances.
Yeah.
And then once again, circumstances arose where it was like, he said like, oh, I don't want to have a child that might have this. And then it happens. Like, two impossible like life scenarios to navigate. Just insane. Maybe the most nuanced and complex story we've read, possibly.
I feel like I haven't read a more nuanced one than this, or like one that like felt so, I don't know, like really tough to think about.
Yeah, because it's usually at least a lot more clear on like, oh, this person was in the wrong here or whatever. But I really do feel for OP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it got harder as the story, like
As it went on.
as
Yeah,
it
yeah,
went
yeah.
on.
Truly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, let us know in the comments what you think. This has a million different angles, different lenses to look through. And so I'm curious what you would do and like, what are the reasons for it? If by chance you have specific experience with this situation,
Please share.
please share.
Beauty of
Please
our
share.
community.
But you know what I also want to have shared?
What?
This next story.
Let's do it. Am I the a-hole for canceling our gender reveal party because I know my husband will be unhappy and possibly leave?
Probably get rid of your husband. Let's have a divorce party.
Yes. This comes from Throwaway Gur Party, who says, my 37 female husband, 43 male, and I have a son, 9 male together, and I am currently pregnant with our second child. Congrats. My husband and I already booked the venue for the gender reveal. We'll lose the photographer's deposit and what we spent on decorations, etc.
So if they cancel, they're going to lose all this money.
it's all going to be gone.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Probably a lot. Maybe like 10 grand?
Yeah, well, a venue, a photographer.
Do people spend 10 grand on gender reveal parties? That's crazy.
I mean, if you get sued, you have to spend 10 grand. If you start a forest fire.
What?
Our gender reveal party cheaper than suing for a forest fire.
Is it 10 grand if you start a forest file?
No, that was a joke about the gender reveal party that started a forest fire.
Yeah, but how much do they have to pay for the
I don't
forest
know.
fire?
A lot.
10 grand?
I don't know. Just threw a number out there.
Get your facts and figures
Yeah.
together, okay, Sophia?
Oh.
However, my husband is more concerned about the reputation effect as he grew up affluent, has a very high-paying job, and also a stake in the family business.
The reputation of throwing a kick-ass party? Is that what he's worried about?
Oh, yeah.
Or just like of like the gender of the child? Like, I only want male heirs kind of deal.
I think the gender of the child.
That's crazy. Dude, that is a freaking red flag if I've ever heard one. If it's the gender of the child, divorce this dude. That's crazy.
It's a gender reveal party. I feel like he's like, oh, I have a lot riding on this party. You must give me a boy.
But maybe it's more like, oh, like I want this party to be swanky and it needs to like adhere to certain dinner party conventions because my hoity-toity family's going to be here.
Well, okay, I think we get more context here. However, I can tell, despite us already having a boy who he absolutely adores, they can do no wrong in each other's eyes. My son had every toy, fun activity, best clothes, all gifted by his dad. He desperately wants our second child, who we expect to be our last, to be a boy.
Bro, you already got one. You get a full set.
Right?
See, this is again going back to if you're not ready to have either gender of child or any gender of child, you don't have a child.
Yeah, I mean, that one is even crazier. Like, I understand people's reticence of like having, you know, like being able to do proper parenting for a disabled child is like hard.
Much harder.
Yeah, but I guess girls are hard too.
What?
Get him, Sophia, get him!
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Sick 'em.
All right, parents of the comments, which is harder, raising girls or raising boys? Fight in the comments now.
Go. I can't wait to read those. I can't wait to read those.
In reality,
You raise your child
I agree with.
however you want.
Wait. Should we ask mom? Who is harder to raise, Sophia or me?
Damn, you climbed buildings.
I know. I was so maybe she'll say me.
stayed home and I don't know.
Or maybe boys or girls.
did homework.
Quick sidebar. Mom, quick question. Who is harder to raise, boys or girls?
Well, here's the thing. With boys, they do reckless things, you in point. But with girls, they have more anxiety because society makes them more anxious.
So who's harder? Quick, you have to choose.
Well, you both equally. you especially difficult.
Yeah.
You just do
Okay,
risky things.
so boys. All right, thanks, Mom. Bye.
There you have it.
All right, I guess boys are more difficult.
The votes are in. But let us know your votes. Let's keep the convo going in the comments. I want to see carnage.
Oh man, this is gonna be a comment-filled episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really putting a lot of
Putting it all on the line. I went into planning this reveal rationalizing that gender disappointment is okay. But I've come to realize that there is wishing you're having a son, and then there's fixating on not having a daughter, even more than wanting another son. and my husband falls into the second category. I agree. I think that's like, you can have a preference, like, oh man, how fun would it be to have a boy or whatever. But like, when you're like, I cannot have a girl.
Like Sophia
whatever.
said, you have to be ready for both.
That's true. That's true. We didn't do a gender reveal for our firstborn because my husband kept putting off whether or not he wanted to hear it from the doctor and when. We ended up learning with him ecstatic about having a son less than a month before giving birth. So, oh wait, but that was the firstborn.
Yeah.
Still don't know the second one yet.
No, this feels like a red flag though. This feels
Absolutely.
like there must be like some kind of misogyny. There's misogyny in this, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
right?
I think I'm
I
sensing
sense
just
a little
bit of
misogyny.
A cream bit of
misogyny
misogyny.
in this guy who actively saying he doesn't want a girl.
So like,
I don't know
can't she
what
not
that
see it?
is.
Watson, I've got it.
Can't she not see it? Like,
Maybe she's rose tinted glasses, giving him the benefit of doubt, like the whole laundry list of,
yeah.
you know.
classic.
The giving the benefit of the doubt vibes. It's not all his fault, but we're giving him benefit of the doubt. He grew up with an older dad who was always controlling towards his mother. Their town at the time was essentially a company town, and his dad threatened her family's jobs.
What is he, like an old-timey tycoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. Plus, he made it impossible for her to go about her day without seeing him until she agreed to be with him.
Oh, so literally he was like, either you marry me or I will make it so your whole family is unemployed.
Your whole town. Or
Yikes.
family, yeah.
But he basically controls the town. Yeah, he's like an old oil tycoon.
He's an old oil tycoon.
Jesus.
Wild.
This is the evil guy that, like, I don't know, falls off a cliff at the end of the movie.
Is this not yet another red flag? Like, don't judge people by their families, but like a little bit.
Yes, unless he's like, oh, here's all the things I never want to become.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
you know?
It sounds like he's exactly like his dad.
Don't
Yes.
judge people unless they're exactly like their family.
My husband also pursued me pretty aggressively, and we had tension over how I at times felt uneasy around him. Yes, we've been in therapy over this.
Bro, this is so
If you
many
feel
red
uneasy
flags.
around your partner,
Bro.
that's probably
I
a
feel
bad
uncomfortable
sign.
around my husband, the person I'm spending my life with. Our marriage had been strained because I was done with him not understanding why my body was still not 100% 3 months after giving birth. He would counter by saying, I turned down spicy sleep the day after giving birth. Bro.
The day
Bro.
after.
Bro.
A horrible person.
But that was him showing he was attracted to me post-baby. Bro. Get a clue.
The day after.
The day after is crazy. Day after is crazy.
Have you seen a birth video?
I haven't.
It's a war zone.
I haven't. I probably should before I have a child.
Here, put it on, Sophia.
No.
What?
No, we don't need to do that right now. Privately.
See, John's afraid. John's afraid.
I didn't say I
he
wasn't.
can't handle it.
I didn't
John,
say I wasn't.
would you have a gender reveal party?
Me? Sure. That sounds fun.
But only if it's a boy.
Yeah.
You find out secretly before the party. You're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, no,
make
no,
him
not the gender
proceed.
reveal, the birth video.
Oh, you would show your birth video at your gender reveal
No,
party?
I'm saying that. I thought Sophia was saying
Man,
when
Dave,
I'm not sure what you're asking to say to me.
the wires are being crossed.
What would you do?
Top
John
down,
wants
left
to
and right.
show a birthing video at his
This
gender
is
reveal
false.
party only if it's
Fake
a boy.
news. Fake news.
I don't even have to like clip that. You said it.
No, I didn't.
That's what I heard too.
No. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play by play, right?
Okay.
Play by play. So Sam is like, oh, hey, let's pull up the birth video right now. I was like, nah, that's not something we need to share. I can figure that out
Wow, the
privately.
miracle of life, something that
Sir.
we don't need to share?
Privately on my own time. And then
Wait, you're going to watch birthing videos privately on your own time?
Yeah, I am. And then Sophia was like, "Oh wait, so you would you do a gender reveal party?" I was like, "Yeah, I would." Sophia thinking I was like, "Oh, I would want the gender reveal private, not the birth video private." And then Sam was like, "Wait,
don't know,
so
you're
you're
getting
trying
really
to
defensive
so you're
right
trying
now."
to play birth videos at the gender reveal?" And I was
Wait,
like,
are
"The
you having a
wires
gender
are
reveal
crossed."
party or not?
Yes. I don't. It's gender. Great. Reveal the gender.
Okay,
Those
editor.
are two completely different discussions.
Editor, cut all of that explanation out and keep the part.
No.
No, editor,
No.
keep it all in.
Editor, you know I rock with you. Whoever
keep
you
the
are,
part-
we're literally tight.
Keep
You
the
know
part
we're
where
freaking
John
fam.
says, "I want to show."
Editor, have you even talked to Sophia once over Slack? No. You know you've talked to
Editor.
me, and we're freaking homies, and you freaking know that. So listen to your boy. We're homies. Boom. There, keep it in.
All of it.
All of it. Yes, all of it. All of it. So that way the viewers can decide. Viewers,
the
you know what to do.
incriminating
Get to
bit.
comment. Do what you do best. You guys
Get in the
rock
comments.
that.
But we're
Rock
gonna
that
get back
comment
to
section.
this story.
That's right. My God. Okay, so now his demons are back. We got to a point where he said, fine, to me going alone to hear the baby's gender without telling him. Wow. And I found out we're having a girl.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Not a boy, not what he wants. I guess I don't have a good poker face by his negative reaction after I got home. He's arguing he doesn't know the baby's gender because I did not explicitly tell him, but 100% he does know. I'd be fine with a reveal where the guests are the ones being surprised, but it's in a week with each day my husband grows more withdrawn and he's not the type who can fake happiness and often tries to leave and pull me away with him when he gets really upset. I decided to pull the plug. Again, he's not mad about the money with the party, yet he's angry that we're doing this to our family and friends and what this may say about him. I put my foot down. Am I the a-hole? And for a little clarity there, I think it's like the reflection on he doesn't care about the money of the party, but how it looks to like cancel the
A
party.
gender reveal party.
And like what the implications of like
That he wasn't happy with it being a girl. Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The implications are that you suck.
Yeah, dude, we had a story like this where it's like, you're making me look so bad in front of my friends
Yeah.
for saying what actually happened. It's
Yeah.
like, maybe don't do shitty things
Gee.
and people won't think bad of you.
Like even you are acknowledging in that you are making a-hole decisions.
Yeah. So is OP the a-hole? I think no. I don't
No.
think so. But I think you're ignoring the red flags of this husband that seems to be, and I understand you have a kid together and stuff, but like there is a lot that is wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because like, and usually we always say like, oh yeah, go to counseling, go find therapy. But they've been in counseling for probably a while.
And I think for this reason.
For this reason and other reasons that don't seem very resolved.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of red flags. I think you're ignoring them. I'm more like, you're not the a-hole, but like,
Get out of there,
Are you
girl.
good?
but yeah, are you good, bro?
Are you good?
like, I feel like, I think this relationship doesn't really feel all that healthy.
Yeah, sit down with yourself maybe and be like, do I really? I think there needs to
Am I
be
being
some
the
glass
a-hole?
breaking.
To me,
That part.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That part.
Respect yourself.
respect
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah, I think maybe so. You need to sit down and have like a long conversation with yourself and then maybe some independent therapy
Yeah. Yeah. Independent therapy.
to think through this, because maybe OP's in so deep they have a 9-year-old child together. I mean, this is a long relationship, so
Yeah.
a lot to unravel.
But what do you think OP should do? Put your answers in the comments.
Let us know.
But you know what you should do right now?
What?
Freaking subscribe.
That's right.
Have you not already subscribed? Subscribe.
Yeah, do that. We love you
And see you tomorrow.